Hi everyone, I'm going to do a quick video on the 2019 Giant Anthem 1. I think this might actually be the first video of this particular bike on YouTube. I've done a lot of searching around for it, especially prior to buying it. Couldn't find a whole lot of stuff because Giant just released their 2019 line. So anyways, I'll talk about the bike, some of the different components on it, what I like, what I don't like, and let you guys know what the bike weighs. So like I said, the bike is a 2019 Giant Anthem 1. It is the aluminum version, not the carbon. The carbon is the advanced version, which will run you about $1,500 more. And you practically get the same components on the aluminum bike as you do on the carbon. The only difference is a minor weight savings going with the aluminum. And you do get a better wheel set. I will say that because the wheels on the carbon model are carbon as well. So just a quick look at the components. What's pretty cool about this bike is you do get a dropper post, and the post is actually pretty dang solid. I wasn't sure if I'd like it or not. I went back and forth between this bike and the Anthem Advanced full race XC bike because I want to race XC on this. And in the end, I chose this just because of the versatility. And there wasn't much of a weight savings between this and the Giant Anthem Advanced carbon fiber bike. And this one does have the 27.5-inch wheels on it, which I liked better than the 29s. I'm a tall person, I'm 6'1". I don't feel like these hinder me at all. In fact, I feel like these corner a lot better, and I just feel like the 27.5-inch wheels are a better fit for my particular riding style. I haven't yet raced on this bike, but I do plan on racing it in 2019. But like I said about the dropper post, it feels very solid. And one of the cool selling points of this bike is that it did come with a dropper, whereas the Anthem XC bike, the Anthem Advanced, did not come with a dropper post. So you do get the aluminum Alux SL frame in this pretty cool green finish. You get the Fox 34 performance fork, which is specific to 27.5, and it does come with the grip damper right here, so you can stick it into the fully open mode. And then right here is, I guess, on in the middle setting, and then right here, I wouldn't call it a lockout, but it's pretty dang stiff. And then from here to here, this is all adjustable. So this changes the firmness or the amount of travel on the fork. So that's pretty neat. The brakes that come in this bike are guide level T's with 180 millimeter rotors up front and 160 in the back. And they're actually fairly good brakes. I like Shimano. I'm a fan of Shimano. I've always been a fan of Shimano, but these brakes have actually been pretty dang good. I've got about a week's worth of use on them, and they have given me no problems or noise whatsoever. So I actually like that quite a lot about these brakes. So moving on to the group, it is a 1x. I believe it has a 30-tooth chain ring up front, and it's the SRAM Eagle NX, which is their new line. It's a step below the GX. The difference being that the components here are composed mainly of steel, as opposed to lighter materials like aluminum, carbon fiber, things like that. So it's been a pretty decent group so far. The only complaint that I have is this cassette right here is an 11 up to 50 tooth, and the jump from here to the 50 tooth is pretty dang substantial. In fact, the problem that I have most often with this group is that it doesn't want to shift from the big cog to the second biggest cog. It typically takes 2 clicks to get it down, and by that point it's not jumping from here to here, it's going to this one, to the next one. So I think that'll just require a little more adjustment and break in on my part. So just some more riding and more fiddling with it, more adjustments should get it pretty well in line. One of the things I did notice about this bike that none of the other Giants in this line have is this little chain catcher here. And I'm not entirely sure why that is, because I asked the guy at the bike shop and he said it's because of the alignment. So when you're in, obviously it's a one by, right? And when you're in this big cog back here, the chain angle kicks out quite a bit, and apparently you can drop the chain out the front ring. But the answer didn't really make sense to me, because a lot of the other bikes that have the 1150 in the back don't have this. I'm not entirely sure why they wouldn't put it on those bikes, but they did elect to put it on this one. Either way, it's there. It works. I can definitely hear the chain rubbing on it when I'm in the biggest cog in the back. So that's kind of annoying. But again, it might just be one of those things where it takes some adjustment on my part. Or maybe this thing isn't even necessary. I don't know yet. So the back shock is a Fox Float E-Vol. It's got the extra volume cartridge on it. Has 3 settings, basically fully open. And then right here is like a more firm setting. And then right here is essentially not a lockout again, but the firmest setting. So what I will say about this bike and the suspension on it is it's probably some of the best suspension that I've ever actually used on a bike. So it feels really solid. I'm used to using rock shocks, and I will tell you that this Fox suspension feels absolutely phenomenal. I'm a huge fan of this. So I will also say that this Maestro linkage right here, this is carbon fiber. It's Giant's new, I'm not entirely sure what they call it, but it's basically, it's a composite. They call it forged composite. So they just use basically carbon fiber and a bunch of resin and intense heat and pressure, and they mold these parts as opposed to using aluminum. But again, I like to race XC. I like to go fast. I like to get out of the saddle and pedal really hard. And one of the cool things about this linkage is that you don't get a whole lot of pedal bob. I've ridden other full suspension bikes, and those things will dip and sag and bounce around all over the place. I think Giant did a really good job of designing this piece because I don't feel that. I don't feel. I mean, it does move, but I don't feel like it's like I'm wasting a lot of energy when I'm out of the saddle hammering on this thing. So that's pretty neat as well. The wheels. So I was actually fairly surprised at how lightweight these wheels were. These are Giant's AM, I guess, all mountain sleeve joint aluminum wheels, and I was really torn between getting this and the Anthem 2.9er, because the 2.9er came with carbon wheels, whereas this one doesn't. But these wheels are incredibly stiff, especially due to the boost spacing on the hubs. It's actually a wider hub assembly than other wheels, so it gives a lot of lateral stiffness and stiffness under high loads when I'm pedaling and cornering. And these aluminum wheels feel pretty dang good, actually, man. I was quite surprised when I got on this thing and started riding it. And even just taking the wheel off and putting it into the car, it felt super light. I haven't weighed the wheels by themselves, but they felt a lot lighter than some of the other wheels that I've been used to using. So I have not weighed them though. But like I said, they do, for an aluminum wheel, they feel awesome, and I do not regret my purchase on this bike. I mean, it's been absolutely wonderful. I did say that I mentioned the weight. I had the guys in the shop throw some, little cheap nylon pedals on it. So these aren't them, obviously. These are the pedals that I'm running. But with the little plastic nylon pedals that they had on there, the bike came in at just under 28.5 pounds, and that is for a size large. So without pedals, I would imagine it's just a touch over 28 pounds. And that was even with the little they have the little bag hanging off of it with the booklet inside of it. So maybe even with the pedals off and that little bag not on there, the bike would come in at just about 28 pounds. So not too bad for what's considered to be a hybrid XC/trail bike. I mean, the Giant Anthem Advanced in the size large was right around 25 pounds, so only 3 pounds more. And you've got 130 millimeters of travel in the front, 110 in the back, versus the Anthem Advanced 1, where you're only going to get 100 millimeters of travel in the front and 90 millimeters of travel in the back. So this actually gives you quite a bit more stability and control when you're going around corners. And these Maxxis high rollers are they're good tires. I like them, especially for more aggressive trail riding conditions. But if you're going to race cross country on them, I wouldn't recommend it. They're a little wide. I think they come in at 2.35. I would have liked to go for something a little bit more narrow, like a 2.2, and something with a less aggressive tread pattern. The tread pattern on these are very, very geared towards or skewed towards, like, you know, all mountain or enduro riding actually. But these have been fantastic tires so far. No complaints there with these either. So overall, very good bike. The spec on it, I mean, the Giant contact bars, the Giant contact stem. I mean, I've got another Giant over here that runs the contact SL. I mean, I guess that's a little bit lighter, but I mean, this is fine as well. I have no issues with the contact, and the fit and finish on it is very nice. So again, it's the 2019 Anthem 1 aluminum bike, and like I said, I wanted to get this thing for cross-country racing for the 2019 season. I was a little hesitant, but once I actually seen it in person and compared it to the Anthem 1 or the Anthem Advanced race bike, I knew that this would be just a more versatile and better choice for me, because I'm not going to spend all my time racing. I want to go to the mountains and have fun and kind of blast down some trails too, and this gives you a little bit more stability, a little more confidence when you're doing that. So anyways, that's it. I hope I didn't miss anything. If you guys have any questions, feel free to comment on the video. I'll do my best to respond. All right, have a good one. Take care.